Good morning. Thank you for being here. To all of our families, friends, and loved ones, on behalf of Class 46, it means so much that you are here with us today. It has been a long-fought 2 years with many challenges and many triumphs. And today, we get to celebrate our biggest triumph of all. Everyone, please join me in welcoming the 46th class of the Wharton MBA Program.
everyone. Please be seated. It is so wonderful to be here celebrating our amazing Wimba East class of 2022. Today is the culmination of so many things and would not be possible without the support of many, many people, many of whom are here today to celebrate you. So without further ado, let me welcome our guests. Welcome to the Wharton faculty and staff present joining us here today. Welcome to the friends, families, and loved ones here to honor these soon-to-be graduates on their many accomplishments. And a huge welcome to each of you, the Wharton Wimba class of 2022. Graduations are special for a multitude of reasons. They mark the multitude of opportunities you've experienced, the array of friendships you have formed, but most of all, the many successes you've experienced during these 2 years of education, focus, and commitment. Graduation feels like the right time to reflect on all you've created and analyzed and accomplished, and to declare, I'm finished. And indeed, with this chapter, you are finished. But completing your Wharton MBA only signals that you are prepared for what has only just begun. Studying in a top-tier business school program can be an invaluable preparation ground. The question is, preparation for what? Some will say it's preparation for greater career impact. Others will say it's preparation for the corner office. Still others will say it's preparation to lead in our globally connected marketplace. Let me affirm that your Wharton MBA has prepared you for all of these things. But I would also attest that the Wharton Wimba class of 2022 is also uniquely prepared for what is possible. We would be remiss if we gathered today and did not acknowledge the challenges and complications the world and all of you encountered during your time at Wharton. From the moment you started, the social, political, and global issues you faced were unparalleled. And while that means you had unique obstacles to overcome compared to most Wimba classmates, it also means you shared a distinct contextual backdrop for your Wharton experience that positioned you to achieve what no other class could even imagine. So as we celebrate you today, I'd like to focus on the ways this class found purpose in what's possible. First, you learned the unknown. The Wharton MBA curriculum is lauded for its rigor and impact. But your class went far beyond any syllabi. You put the theory of thriving in ambiguity into practice in our ever-evolving environment. You not only navigated disruption, you also used it as inspiration, whether in class or on your job, in your community, or in places far beyond. You put the influence, information, and ingenuity you learned in the classroom into practice in real time. In short, you applied theory in meaningful ways and ultimately learned more than you know. You also lived the unfamiliar. Wharton's dynamic community means you undoubtedly encounter individuals from all walks of life. Such diversity enriches everything about your student experience and provides a range of perspectives that benefit you from the classroom to the boardroom. It also means that because of ongoing volatility in our world, it is possible that turmoil struck someone in your life whose identity, culture, or lived experiences differ from your own. Despite not sharing their background, your Wharton experience meant you knew how to walk alongside them, how to offer compassion, and how to foster hope. You found ways to make their concerns your cares. And through your openness and outreach, this class proved that support is a verb and action is key. Lastly, class of 2022, you led through the uncharted. Wharton MBAs are known for their leadership qualities, and your class was no exception. You and your classmates learned to identify the unique, innate skills capable of facilitating your own success, and you put them into use well beyond the boundaries of the boardroom. When your own staff braced against the pandemic's full force impact, you helped them navigate the rough waters. When your families suffered from the uncertainty, isolation, and trauma of the last 2 years, you provided the calm and support they needed. And when the world looked for inspiration amid grid times, you shone as an example of resilience and fortitude. Time and again, you were the leaders who brought progress, even when the way forward was unclear and your footing was unsure. Yes, your class has learned, lived, and led in unprecedented ways, and now you are graduating into a future still largely unpredictable. But after navigating your way through the unknown, the unfamiliar, and the uncharted, a little uncertainty should not worry you. Because the solution for uncertainty is preparation. And what Wharton Wimba East Class of 2022, you are certainly prepared for it all. Congratulations and best wishes to each of you. May you continue to thrive and have tremendous impact in the world. As we continue, I have two exciting introductions for today's ceremony. First, in the interest of public safety and in an effort to have some fun, I am including a slight alteration to today's roll call process. We're doing away with the traditional handshake part of the diploma ceremony and replacing it with 3 alternate greetings, of which my colleague, Peggy Bishop, will be demonstrating along as I explain. So when your name is called and you join me on stage, you can choose an elbow bump greeting, a namaste, or a Wakanda. This is a small shift that will hopefully keep us safe and provide some extra energy to the day. All right, now for the second introduction, your graduation speaker. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Chike Aguh, 2012 Wharton alumnus and Chief Innovation Officer at the United States Department of Labor. Appointed by President Joe Biden and reporting to the Deputy Secretary, Chike also serves as Senior Advisor for Delivery, leading efforts to use data, emerging technologies, and innovative practices to advance and protect American workers. Previously, Chike launched the Community College Growth Engine Fund, a national multi-million-dollar effort helping community colleges train thousands of careers in high-growth fields. He has been a technology and human rights fellow at the Harvard Carr Center focused on the future of work and racial equity, Council on Foreign Relations Future of Work Task Force member, and lecturer at Columbia University, which I don't know why. It's neither here nor there. We'll talk. He has written for or been featured in and at Forbes, Fast Company, Wired Magazine, Fortune, Harvard, Wharton, and the White House. It is now my honor to welcome your graduation speaker, Chike Aguh.
Good morning, and just thank you for this amazing honor, Dean James, distinguished faculty, loved ones, and most of all, the Wimba East Class of 2022. As a Wharton alumnus, it means more than you could ever know for you to have me here today, so truly, I want to say thank you. To the class of 2022, I extend my congratulations for what you have achieved. And I'm sure there are people who will call you the COVID class, who call you the pandemic cohort, but I prefer to call you the class who wouldn't quit, because I think we should be defined by not just what we've gone through, but what we've overcome. So truly, congratulations. Give yourself a round of applause, please. I also want to congratulate all of you who are here, because no one does this alone. There are the bosses who made schedules more flexible so that these folks could be here. There are partners and spouses who figured out how to do with less of your time at home. There are kids who saw a little less of their parents. There are civic organizations who dealt with a little less of your time. And all of them made it possible for this to be done. And so really, let's give all of you a round of applause. I would also be remiss if I did not thank the person who made it possible for me to be here. And she'll kill me for doing this, but my best friend, my role model, the wisest person and the best person that I know, and the most beautiful girl in the room who I met at a Wharton preterm party in 2010 on Chancellor Street, my mother of my children, my lady wife, Dr. Chike Aguh, Penn Med, 2011. I would not be who I am without her, and by extension, I wouldn't be who I am without this place. When I arrived to Wharton in the summer of 2010, I'm gonna be very honest, I didn't quite know what I was getting into. I did not know a balance sheet from a balance beam. I could not tell an IRR from finance from an ERA in baseball. I was shocked that everything had math. Everything had math, for whether it was statistics or marketing. But even though I didn't quite know what I was getting myself into, I did come with a compulsion and a conviction. The compulsion came from whence I come. For those who know me and the story of my family, it's a very extraordinary one in this country. My family is from a village on the far side of the world in Nigeria that most Nigerians themselves will never go to and never visit. My grandparents didn't go past middle school, none of them. My parents grew up over the hill from one another with Peace Corps volunteers in their classrooms. And because of what happens when things at times go the right way, I stand before you as the first person in my family born in America, and also as the appointee of an American president. And I had a compulsion and a belief that I had gotten more than I can ever repay, but that I would spend the rest of my life trying. And it was that compulsion that took me into the classroom as a teacher, that took me in some of the poorest neighborhoods in this country and in the world. But the conviction that brought me to Wharton was that for every student who I taught during my time, there were millions who I would never see and never reach. And I had a conviction that I had to. And I had a conviction that at Wharton I could learn how. And I'm gonna be honest, God, almost now 12 years on, that conviction has been borne out. This was a place where I believed I could learn the tools to not just, frankly, make a profit, but make a change. Not just make a buck, but make a difference. To basically figure out how we make an economy that not only makes us prosperous, but that also makes us proud. And again, I would not have learned those things without this place. When I think about my career since I left here, whether it was as a product manager in a technology company, figuring out how we use analytics to help community colleges find students at risk of not graduating, whether it was leading a social enterprise, helping connect 500,000 people to internet who didn't have it, whether it was working with General Stan McChrystal to take his lessons from the battlefield and apply them to organizations like Teach for America and United Way Worldwide, and even in my current role as Chief Innovation Officer at the US Department of Labor, the things that I learned here made a difference. They still make a difference every single day. And I'll be honest, on January 20th, when I was sworn in around 2 o'clock, I was glad I had some of the tools that this place had to offer. 20 months ago when I entered administration service, just to throw a few stats out there, in April of 2020, 8 million jobs evaporated in America. 8 million jobs, 10x the national record. There were, unemployment claims were 6 million per week, 10x the national record at that time. We had technologies like quantum, robotics, AI, changing or obviating jobs. And we had historic wages for workers that had not moved since 1980, even though worker productivity had increased. And in certain industries and certain geographies, we had 2 open jobs for every 1 willing worker. And so when we think about the things that I've been lucky to do in the role that I have, from making data available to workers to find the best training, to creating public-private partnerships to fill needed jobs in places from quantum to space to cybersecurity, it is the skills that I have learned here that have made a really, really critical difference. But in those 15 years and in those 20 months, the conviction that I have come to is that for any problem we're solving, those problems cannot be solved by any one person, by any one organization, or any one sector alone. And I say that as a member of the federal government of the richest, most militarily powerful country in the history of the human race. None of this can be done alone. And it is that conviction that brings me to you today, with not just a celebration, but also, I think, a really important challenge. And that challenge is this. Many of you are going to go back to lead and work in industries that are frankly more powerful than states. Many of you are going to work in industries and companies that literally determine whether communities live or die, succeed or fail, prosper or plummet. And the question is, with that immense power, what will you do? And to quote the great philosopher of Marvel Comics, Spider-Man's Uncle Ben, with great power comes great responsibility. And I think the question is, will you take on that responsibility? And when I think about that responsibility, I will also say there's with it an opportunity. Because in the problems that you all will hopefully help solve that are bedeviling society, there are solutions to the problems that also bedevil your business. And so the question is, will you seize that opportunity? Will you take on that responsibility? And I'll use just 3 examples that I think are really powerful today. One of those is something that I spend a lot of my time thinking about, which is how do you create an economy that has a place for everyone? I sit and spend a lot of my time with companies who say, I can't find the workers that I need, whether it be in retail, whether it be in robotics. And the 2 questions that I usually ask them are questions that my wife will usually ask me when I can't find my keys, which is very often. She will ask me, what are you looking for and where have you looked? And when we think about filling the jobs that most need to be filled, the question is, have you gone to the communities who most need work? You finally are beginning to see companies saying that a felony conviction should not stand in the way of someone who can work in my company. You are finally seeing industry say a college degree should not be a default, but should be a decision that's made purposefully about whether we require that for a job. We have finally seen companies saying, I'm going to go to communities that I never have to before to find work, whether it be the Choctaw Nation in Southeast Oklahoma, to East and West Baltimore of my home state, to Boyle Heights in LA. But in the process of solving the societal problems of whether we have enough work for everyone, we can solve the problem for businesses for how we meet the personas that came in during the last month. Let's take another, which is how does business respond when society suffers? My wife is from Greater Houston, and about 5 years ago, Hurricane Harvey struck Greater Houston. And for those of you who are from Houston, there's a chain of furniture stores called Gallery Furniture. And the owner of Gallery Furniture said, when Hurricane Harvey happened and people don't have a place to sleep, I'm going to open every store I have and people can come there, lay down their heads in a place that's dry and a place that's safe. And the question is, when a wildfire, when a hurricane, when a flood strikes your community, what are you going to do? I will tell you the owner of Gallery Furniture didn't do an NPV. I'll tell you that right now because it would have come out negative. They didn't do a WAC. They didn't fill out a spreadsheet. They said this is the right thing for us to do for our community. And I will probably hesitate to say, I would not hesitate to say that probably his net promoter score and name recognition in his community went up more than any millions of dollars of advertising. The last thing I'll say is, how do you make the innovations that are changing our economy available to everyone? And here's what I mean by that. I'm a recovering venture capitalist. And what always marveled me when I would hear folks pitch companies is that, frankly, they were solving problems of people like me. They were not solving the problems of people who live in places like West Philadelphia, East and West Baltimore, the Choctaw Nation. And I would think about why, and the answer is, they don't spend a lot of time talking to those people. And so all of you who are going to be running the companies that are going to make the innovations that are going to change the world, quite literally, I ask you that when you're discussing those innovations, look up and see who's in the room and who's not. And does that room look like America? Does that room look like the world? And if it doesn't, I ask you to think again. I ask you to think harder. Because if we do, we're going to create innovations that don't just, again, change balance sheets, but that change lives, that change communities, that change the world. Years ago, when I was a young scuttlebutt intern on Capitol Hill, I got to meet a legend in my home state, Elijah Cummings, congressman who's dearly departed from us. And I met him in 2004 at the 40th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act. In the shadow of the Lincoln Memorial, he said a few things that I will have never forgotten. He said, statesmen and women have to think not just about the next election, but the next century. And I would argue that for business leaders, we need to think about not just the next quarter, but the next era. And he said something that I've never forgotten since then, which is, we need to think about not just the people who are in front of us, we need to think about the people who will never meet. The faces we will never see, the voices we will never hear, the names we will never know, whose lives will be different because of what we do and don't do here. And I would ask you to think about that as you step off the stage and into positions of enormous power. If we do this right, 20, 30, 40 years from now, on a stage like this, someone is going to come and stand here and say, an unlikely journey, and they're going to say, what changed life for my family forever is that a company overlooked my dad's felony conviction and gave him a job. The person's going to sit on this stage and say, an unlikely journey, and say, what changed life forever is that when that wildfire came to my community, this business opened their store and gave me a place to sleep while we got our lives together. There's going to be someone who stands on this stage and says, because a company got rid of their college degree requirements for so many jobs, my mom got a shot. That is what is possible, depending upon what you all do here, upon whether you're willing to seize that responsibility and seize this opportunity. And I hope you do. And I will say, if you do, you have partners in the whole of society, from government, the nonprofit space, everywhere, who are willing to stand shoulder to shoulder with you. So today, I want to say, we celebrate you, absolutely celebrate you. We also challenge you because I think you'll step up to the challenge because you went to Wharton. And if you do, the world is going to be a different and a better place because of it. Congratulations, Godspeed, good luck, class of 2022.
Those are words we all can heed and aspire to live by. Thank you. Thank you, Chike. I'm also very excited to introduce our next speaker, your classmate and class of 2022 graduate, Shradha Bakliwal. Having grown up in Mumbai, India, Shradha currently lives in the New York area with her husband and one-year-old daughter. So yes, that means you can do the math. She is a director within PricewaterhouseCoopers deals business supporting Fortune 500 companies and private equity firms in large, complex merger and acquisition transactions. Outside of leading advisory engagements, Shradha has been instrumental at PwC in driving several initiatives focused on women's advancement in the workplace. She launched the inaugural Women in Deals networking program for clients in New York, which has seen tremendous success and growth. Please join me in welcoming and congratulating Shradha Bakliwal.
Dean James, thank you for that warm introduction. It was the second week of March in 2020, an interesting moment in time for us all. We were just hearing words such as lockdown and shelter in place, and some of us had just heard that we had hit our dream milestone, made it to the coveted Wharton MBA. To top it all, I had also just found out I was expecting a baby. Talk about a life-changing week, huh? Pregnant in a pandemic and working a demanding job, was now the right time to take a leap into MBA enrollment? I reached out to 6 women in the incoming WEMBA 46 class who I did not know and I had never met before, who willingly jumped on a Zoom call to help me make a life-changing decision. In that tiny interaction, I got a glimpse of what I would be gaining from the WEMBA experience. An opportunity to learn and spend time with the brightest minds with an innate ability of problem solving. An opportunity to make long-lasting bonds and friendships with people who are thoughtful and selfless. And an opportunity to be a part of a community that will help you and support you well beyond the confines of your career. I mean it when I say it. I want to thank each and every one of you, for everything you've done, your intellectual curiosity, your empathetic viewpoints, and the excitement you have brought, both in class and at Louie Louie. It has made the WEMBA experience very special and memorable. Juggling the commitments of a strenuous job, managing the expectation of an existing and growing family, and a demanding program are already a lot to take on. But adding in the wild uncertainty of the pandemic really tied our class to an absolutely unique experience. I cannot thank the administration enough for extending our start date, which enabled us to have a better, longer in-person experience. This also gave us the opportunity for some unorthodox social engagement via Slack and Zoom, where we were trying to make the best of the situation that we were put in. It started with several awkward Zoom interactions of trying to get to know people and made us grateful for each moment that we spent together seeing each other in the real world. I'm grateful to be standing here today and not having to do this behind an awkwardly placed screen. When I was young, I thought that success was an individual accomplishment. But as I matured, I realized that it's a team sport. For each of us to be successful here, there is a team of individuals who have made it possible for us to live our best lives during the past 2 years of WEMBA. Personally, I would like to thank my father, who taught me how to dream big, my mother, who taught me how to execute on those dreams, and my husband, who helps me each and every day to make my dreams come true. For some of us, that team may include an understanding partner who took on greater household responsibilities and childcare, or a colleague who picked up an extra meeting, or even the professors who granted us an extension because of other commitments. Our success belongs to so many special people who have truly taken extra steps to make our dreams come true. A huge thank you for being that support system for the class of 2022. I hope you can see how much my classmates and I are enriched from being wholeheartedly a part of this program, thanks to your efforts. We came in hungry to learn and gain something new, but it's fair to say we're ready to regain our weekends. We're eager to pick up that extra time to do things outside of school that we love, sleep in late, read for fun, hang out with our friends. But there is a void which we are already feeling, which is going to be hard to fill. We're going to miss seeing each other every 2 weeks. We're going to miss our discussions in class. We're going to miss interacting with our accomplished professors, and above all, we're going to miss the break from our routine lives that coming to campus offers us. I'm not going to lie, when I applied for this program, all I wanted to do was be a part of an elite Ivy League school and have a name on my resume that carried weight. The Wharton experience has fundamentally changed my mindset and broadened my outlook towards the world. It has encouraged me to think outside the box and focus on what really matters. I feel honored today to stand in front of some of the most extraordinary people I am ever going to meet in my entire life. And it's not because of your ability to comprehend finance or statistics. I know each and every one of you is going to be extremely successful because of something very special. Our values, our grit, and our commitment to change the world around us. Class of 2022, let our next chapter begin.
Thank you, Shradha. Peggy Bishop Lane is Vice Dean of the Wharton MBA Program for Executives and Adjunct Professor of Accounting. Based here in Philadelphia, Professor Lane oversees both the Philadelphia and San Francisco programs. Previously, she has directed the academic experience for the full-time MBA program as Deputy Vice Dean for Academic Affairs for 11 years. Professor Lane teaches accounting to first-year MBA and executive MBA students. Please join me in welcoming to the lectern Vice Dean Peggy Bishop Lane.
Thank you, Dean James. Class 46. The longest tenured MBA class in the history of the Wharton School. Yeah. Does it feel long to you? Yes. But don't you want it to last just a little longer? Yes. Yeah. We have a marvelous tradition in the WEMBA program called the Quaker Dinner. As in a Quaker service, students stand up and speak as the spirit moves them. Most Quaker dinners are filled with what I like to call the "I love you, man" remarks. Students reflect on how thankful they are for their classmates, their learning teams, sometimes vying for who has the best team, their faculty, or an event or trip that was particularly impactful. And they roast each other a little, but in a really loving way. This year's Quaker dinner was especially poignant. I lost track of how many times I teared up. Even the photographer sitting next to me was crying, and he never met you before. While all WEMBA classes go through somewhat of a difficult shared experience that brings them together, you all did that about 10 times over, and it shows. The most beautiful part of WEMBA for me, the closeness and commitment of this community, was intensified because of the challenges we all faced, over the past 2 years. Whether it was figuring out how to get together safely during a pandemic, how to manage an online class with toddlers in the house, how to help a classmate through a tragedy, how to travel across country or across the world, or how to actually celebrate together after all those awkward Zoom parties, you did it, and you did it together. I heard the word resilience from many of you. I'm not surprised that our admissions team saw that quality in you and jumped. It's almost as if Diane Sharp and her team knew what was going to be required of you when they admitted you pre-COVID. As always, they wade through some stellar applicants to find those who will ultimately come together. Not just in a physical location, but really come together. Be a team. Be more than a network. Become friends. Be here for each other through thick and thin. That's what our brilliant admissions team saw in you, and you have made them proud. Yeah, sure. There's an unattributed quote that reminds me of WEMBA, but especially of WEMBA 46. When a collection of brilliant minds, hearts, and talents come together, expect a masterpiece. And what a masterpiece you are. As Chike said, some people may want to refer to the class of 2022 as the COVID class, but no. Somewhat more appropriate might be to refer to you as the resilient class. But I think the best way to remember your class is as the together class. Fitting, because you started so far apart and journeyed to come together closer than you could have ever imagined in that first welcome Zoom session. There were so many memorable stories in that Quaker dinner. One that struck me came from John, who told us when he came to the US, he was in search of his people and ultimately found his people here at Wemba. Well, I hope you all feel that you found your people here. You are each other's people. We are your people. So being together doesn't stop here. Come together in your towns, at a reunion, for a soccer game, or for heaven's sakes, even on a Zoom party. Oh, and for my wonderful online accounting class. I hope you know what song I would be playing now if I could. Actually, I can. I have the podium. Whoop. No, I can't. Okay, here we go.
Come together right now.
And I can't imagine what you'll be writing in the chat. Congratulations, 46, on everything you achieved together. I couldn't be prouder. And now, I'd like to introduce Kathy Maloney, the Director of the MBA for Executives in Philadelphia and the Director of Alumni Engagement for all of Wemba. Kathy will now recognize the Student Award recipients.
It's my pleasure and privilege to make these announcements today. First, we're going to honor Clement Obomo. Clement, would you stand? Thank you. He is winning, these are voted on by the class. He is winning the Dean Harker Leadership Award. Dean Harker left Wharton in 2007 to become president of the University of Delaware, but he left a lasting legacy. He provided the impetus for the establishment of Wharton San Francisco's campus in order to extend the global reach to audiences and industries, where incidentally the Wemba program has grown and flourished for 20 years. So this undertaking was significant because it required innovative thinking, perseverance, and leadership. Dean Harker's award is presented to the student that best exemplifies this spirit, so this year is Clement. Come over and get your gift. Thank you. Thank you, Peggy. The next award, the Dean Spirit Award, is bestowed on the student who has been the catalyst in bringing students together and who's most contributed to the Wharton experience by generating enthusiasm amongst their class members to make the 2 years a remarkable experience. Bet you can't guess who this is. This year's Dean Spirit Award winner is Forbes Huang. Forbes, would you come on over? Thank you. Forbes opened his heart and his home, hosted many, many gatherings, parties, work-study sessions, and co-chaired the graduation gala that we all went to last weekend at the Franklin Institute. Thank you. Thank you, Forbes. The next award, the Benjamin Franklin Award, is bestowed on the student who exhibited strong work ethic, demonstrated practical application of ideas, fostered teamwork, and was quick to lend a helping hand in order to give back to the class. This year's award goes to Matthew Cahill. Matt was, congratulations. Matt was always willing to help his classmates learn a difficult concept, quantitative, for those not in the MBA program, and to share his notes. Matt's also compiled the term calendar that showed them all when assignments were due. Very important at MBA program. And last, we have two winners of the Benjamin Franklin Award, Jessica Huber. Jessica was a positive life force and a total team player. She shared her wisdom on personal finance and tax advice willingly with her cohort. And Jessica also spearheaded the little gifts that your children received when they came in today to the ceremony. And she just was the heart and soul of the class. So we really want to thank her. Okay, with that, I'll turn it back over to our program. Thank you.
Thanks, Kathy, and congratulations, everybody. It's now my great pleasure to announce our highest academic award winners, beginning with our faculty. Wharton recognizes these instructors who have excelled in the classroom, determined by your course evaluations. These individuals stimulate your interest, communicate new ideas clearly, and demonstrate the best of what it means to be a teacher. Please see the listing in your program for the award recipients, but I would like to ask those faculty on this stage who are listed to please rise. Congratulations. Excelling academically in a program that includes some of the highest achievers in the world during a period wrought with competing demands for time is a feat that is appropriately described by the word awesome. While overused in our vernacular today, I am truly awed by the accomplishments of these individuals. First, we recognize those students from the Wharton MBA class of 2022 who achieved graduation with honors. This award is given to those whose GPA is in the top 20% of the class. When I call your name, please rise from your chair. Chike Aguh. John Matthew Cahill. David Haynes. Martin Hershey. Ben Hostler. Forbes Wong. Yang Sung Kim. Russell Cruder. Mary Croning. Patrick Lenahan. Allison Luvera. Shaunak Meshra. Martin Ngumbwa. Rohan Patankar. Warren Pennington. Noah Chow. Brandon Ray. Michael Sagan. Shashank Shinte. Philip Schmerling. Sanjeev Suratwala. Sai Yendamuri. Ahmad Yusuf. And Nathan Zom. This next set of students not only earned graduation with honors, but also the designation of Palmer Scholar. This achievement is given to those whose GPA is in the top 5% of the class. When I call your name, please rise, and you will receive your award after you cross the stage. Izette John Akus. John Matthew Cahill. Forbes Wong. Russell Kruder. Michael Sagan. And Sanjeev Suratwala. Congratulations to all of our honor students. Well done. And now, yes, please. And now, Wharton MBA class of 2022, it's time to line up for roll call and the awarding of diplomas. Lauren Peterson. Shradha Bakliwal. Clement Obomo. Sheetal Agrawal. Izette John Akus. Raja Sekar Akunuru. Kyle Altschuler. Lakshmi Anamenni. Gaurav Arora. Chase Bentley.
I get my hug. I'll tell you the counting joke later.
Allison Bickle. Philopatir Bechet. Matthew Blair. Daniel Blessing. Dean Kern Bumbaka. Lara Bizik. John Matthew Cahill. Christopher Campana. Britt Campbell. Eugene Chung. Eileen Zhuang. Benjamin Clyburn. Carissa Comp. Michael Contreras. Kimmy Coy. Star Davis. Vatsal Doshi. Paolo Dutra. Andrew Ehrlich. Jesse Feaster. George Ribeiro. Lawrence Freed. Jeremy Gartner. Chad Glenn. Obajay Goenka. Drew Goldsmith. Aditya Govil. David Haynes. Garrison Evan Haining. Brian Hazelton. Janet He. Martin Hershey. Ben Hostler. Young Yen Hu. Forbes Wong. Jessica Huber. Kelly Irvin. Bulbul Jane. Gowrie Jairam. Michael Jeffries. Sama Kadakia. Neha Kantamneni. Kapil Kedia. Jerry Kim. Young Sung Kim. Daniel Klatskin. Russell Kruder. Mary Croning. Lawrence Kunavilla. Sterling Larson. Patrick Lenahan. Mary S. Lynn. Kate Shua Yang Liu. Ing Liu. Allison Luvera. Robert McDaniel. Shaunak Mishra. Thomas Murray. Pablo Nagy. David Needham. Martin Ngombwa. Marcio Oliveira. Tony Ong. Andrew Orloff. Grant Parsagian. Victoria Marie Partnope. Rohan Patankar. Maddie Pospashil. Warren Pennington. Noah Chow. Brandon Ray. Hema Reddy. Solman Rizvi. Ben Roman. Adam Rosenwack. Juan Pablo Sanchez. Marcel Schmidt. Drew Schneider. Sharon Sethuraman. Jack Watkins Schilling. Shashank Baburao Shinte. Timothy Shishko. Philip Schmerling. Nafis Smith. Joseph Sabanko. Jared Stopford. Michael Solkis. Sanjeev Suratwala. Kanishka Suryawanshi. Tara Karen Talone. Travis Templeton. Cedric Tiu. Hisham Valiudin. Praveen Veeramachaneni. David N. Vagari. Olena Wilson. Doc G. Winston. Daniel Winneck. Michael Wong. Andrew Shu. Sai Yendamuri. Ahmad Yusuf. Nathan Zam. Irene Zhang. Shannon Shaching Zhang. Jordan Barrett. Anu Bhatia. Satvant Kaur Dillon. Ranil Fernando. Ronald Fernando. Sunil Karnawat. Pratik Maheshwari. John Medina. Malcolm Minty. Segar Mukala. Susanna Navarro. Robert Pritchett. Teddy Ritter. Matthew Rowe. Ulrich Klaus Wilhelm Schwabe. Shruti Shetty. Bhushan Kanta Yashwant Suryavanshi. And last but not least, Wenshan Wang. Congratulations, MBA class of 2022. You did it.
We're almost finished. But I'm guessing that the kids department at the Penn bookstore is going to sell out of Wharton t-shirts and onesies. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sam Lundquist, Wharton's Chief Advancement Officer. I want to add my congratulations to your graduation and welcome you to the Wharton alumni community. As the leader of Wharton's External Affairs Office, we love what we do to ensure that we will care for you and embrace you as a lifelong member of the Wharton community. And just as the WEMBA team is going to remain important in your lives, now it expands to include the Wharton External Affairs staff, which includes Kathy Maloney and Cynthia Orr. Just as throughout your MBA experience, this dedicated team has worked hard to keep Wharton close to you wherever you are. And it's truly a labor of love for us. We really look forward to seeing you all around the world. You are now members of a community of more than 100,000 living alumni and graduates from 153 countries around the world. To commemorate this transition, please move your tassels from right to left. Do you remember how proud you felt the day you were admitted to Wharton? That was an important moment and turning point in your lives. But it was just the beginning of your relationship with the school. You'll carry the Wharton flag with you for the rest of your life because it is now part of your personal brand. Your success will lift and strengthen Wharton. And in the end, we need you. We will always be here for you. And in fact, wherever you go in the world, we will be there for you. We will make sure that you have plenty of opportunities to grow in your career, sharpen your skills, or expand your perspective in business. Take advantage of these opportunities to remain involved with your school and with your remarkable alumni network. Many alumni acknowledge that their success is directly tied to their Wharton experience. We've certainly heard that today. With gratitude, they choose to give back to the school and pay it forward to future generations. As you step into life as alumni, your participation in the 2022 class gift deepens your relationship with the school. Thank you for joining the many alumni who give back, who are investing in the future of Wharton. We're grateful for your dedication to Wharton and to your contributions to the class gift. Your class achieved an outstanding 95% participation and raised a remarkable $124,937. We thank this year's co-chairs, Clement Obomo and Lauren Peterson, and the committee who worked tirelessly to ensure the success of the class campaign program. And I now invite Clement and Lauren to present the class gift check to Dean James.
So thank you. So a couple words here. So I'd like to take a moment to talk about the Wharton Fund itself. It supports student programs, global initiative, and lifelong benefits, like alumni events, to name a few things. Lauren and I would like to thank the class and send a really heartfelt thank you to you all for your wonderful contributions, as well as the committee members who provided the nudges towards the end of the campaign. I also want to thank the family and friends who provided the support in the village in order for the generous contribution, as well as Sachin Shetty, who is the Wemba class of 2004, for a generous challenger gift of $25,000. Fun fact, the Wharton Fund Wharton itself rather, was started from a philanthropic donation of $100,000 by Joseph Wharton in 1881. So without philanthropy, there would be no Wharton. So I challenge you all as we go off and do bigger and better things to always have that in mind, continue to pay it forward, and thank you all. Thank you.
I'm now delighted to share with you a special Wharton tradition. Each year, alumni who have demonstrated leadership within the Wharton and Penn community are extended an invitation to participate in commencement. One graduate is selected to serve as alumni marshal who will pass the 2022 alumni flag to a member of the graduating class. This year, we're thrilled to have Chike join us as he is a 2012 MBA graduate, as you know, and serving as our alumni marshal this year. He's Chief Innovation Officer for the U.S. Department of Labor. In passing the 2022 alumni flag to Clement, he is linking the Wharton alumni of yesterday to those of today. Welcome to the alumni family.
Thank you, Clement, Lauren, and Chike. And thank you to our 100,000 plus alumni around the globe who make Wharton's community the largest, most impactful, and most engaging alumni community in the world. as we close today's ceremony, it remains my hope that each and every one of our graduates understands how much this community is proud of you and excited for you. May your Wharton experience serve you well in your future endeavors, and may you always trust in the power of Wharton and in yourselves. Congratulations, graduates.